Alright, so today at the gym, I got there super early. So I took advantage of the little private room while I could. And, I did my stretches beforehand. And it really did help me out. So I think that's what I'm going to end up having to do in the meantime. But, yeah. So I noticed that, I do have a little bit of heaviness on my right shoulder, but what I've learned from the past 7 years, shitty ass experience, is basically it's not going to get any better unless you help it get better. And if you leave it alone, 9 times out of 10, it's just going to worsen. And that's what it has for me. It's not going to happen with everybody. Everybody's different. My body, okay, this is what I learned about me, is I can't keep my ass still. With the past injury that happened, yeah, it's kind of like confusing and ass backwards when you think about it, because it put me in a position where towards I couldn't walk. It put me in a position where towards it felt like my body was going to break in half whenever I was finally standing upright. It had me doing a military crawl across the floor in order to get around my apartment before we moved into this place. And it was just the worst experience ever. And healing from it, and getting in the middle of it, and you see right there, this is why I posted this one. And I'm like, you know what, screw the 1 minute one. I'm just going to talk throughout this, because it sucked. Like, all the progression and everything else that I made, and now it's like, it's not back to square one, but it's like, okay, we're going to redo this again and see how you react to it. And it's just like, okay, am I not going to stretch out? Or did I learn that stretching out is going to be good for me and benefit me in the long run with my body and recovering anything that, happens to rehash with whatever happens, Like, oh, yeah. I'm not going to stop stretching out. It's going to hurt. So let it hurt, because guess what? The past 7 years told me it can be much worse. So I've been through much worse. I've been going through much worse throughout my whole entire life. And like, with this injury that wasn't even 100% healed, I was just coming out of it, having, relapse. It's just like, fuck. But you gotta do what you gotta do, because the thing is, if you stop, it's like when you work out, right, and you stop, what happens when you start back up? You didn't make any progression. You just stay stagnant, and your body is gonna sit there in that, oh, this is a little bit sore than it was before, and all other crap. So you gotta go through these little things back and forth. So which is more important? So me, I learned I really love my mobility. I learned that, yeah, even though I did a lot in the past, I always had a tendency to want to sit down, or always sitting down and, laying down somewhere, It was just like always at a rest, but at the same time always moving. But any chance I got, I would sit the hell down, But what I come to start doing myself was to actually just say, you know what? Screw it. I am going to sit here and I'm going to keep on moving. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to just sit down everywhere. Because if I do, I understand the repercussions of it. And that's for me to actually go through a shitload of stiffness. My body to go through some harsh soreness and horrible pain. And yeah, with me moving around, it's still doing the same thing. So why am I moving around? Because guess what? It can get fucking worse. So, yeah. I'd rather stretch out, the hurt shoulder. I rather, stretch out the hurt leg. I rather stretch out and, keep on pushing through all my movements and everything else, because it's not going to get any better if I don't.